Welcome back, everyone, to AAA Travel News and Views. Our special guests today are Paul and Kim Smith. They have been, I should say, Paul W. and Kim Smith.
I didn't know who you were talking about.
I know. I thought you would look up and give me the evil eye. Tell us a little bit about this cruise. We've talked about the ship, so everybody knows what it's like, but we haven't really talked about where you went. Where did you go on this beautiful cruise?
Well, we started off in Rome, and we had a night there. We spent...
Yeah, you know what? One of the things we learned, and one of the things we know for sure, just from all the travel that we've done, is that you want to get a travel agent involved because of their expertise, like AAA travel, for example, Mary. You know, people who can tell you things you need to know ahead of time, and that's important. And one of the suggestions we had, and that Kim made me do this, because I don't generally do this, but should, we went a day early.
Great idea.
Let me tell you something. That changes everything.
It does.
If you don't have that extra day bumper, you find yourself, from the moment you get on the plane, worried about making sure you get there in time to get on the ship.
Plus, you're exhausted.
Plus, you're exhausted.
Right, you have jet lag, you're stressed out, and then you lose a couple days.
Yeah.
It gave us a day to explore Rome, which we weren't really going to have. So we had a wonderful tour of the city and had a great dinner at Tullio.
One of our favorite restaurants in the world. This fabulous Italian restaurant that someone had recommended to us, Tullio.
What did you have there?
Well, they have great typical Roman cuisine, and they have lined up at the front entrance of the restaurant buffalo mozzarella soaking in this brine.
Huge balls of buffalo mozzarella in this brine. That it's the tastiest, best mozzarella. It was like something different that I've never had. It was so good.
Pillows and artichokes and parma ham.
Full artichokes. I think they call them. Did they call them
Fantastic.
Roman artichoke? I don't
Right.
know what they call them, but
And they were marinated.
unbelievably good. I mean, it's just so good. In fact, recently Joe Vicari was on with us from Andiamo, and he said, influenced by things like that in some restaurants he's been around the world, that's why he's changing his restaurants. It's going to be like Joe Vicari's Andiamo Italian Steakhouse or something, and he's going to feature those kinds of things. And boy, if he gets it even close, I'll be spending a lot of time there, won't we? Be spending a lot of time there. It's that good.
The servers had those white jackets and black aprons. They looked like they were straight out of the 40s. It was just a
how fun.
really fun, casual, but elegant restaurant.
So we're stuck on food again because
It all comes
we
back
ate
to
and
food.
drank our way
Every
through Europe
single-
on our honeymoon.
But you know, that's funny. I mean, we're making jokes about it, but I think even if you're not obsessed with food in your regular life, when you go on vacation, if you go somewhere and the food is not good,
That
it
could
can
ruin
just
your trip.
ruin your trip.
Yeah, it
We
sure
did not
can.
have
Yeah.
one bad meal. It was
No, we really
outstanding
didn't.
Everywhere. we
Anywhere.
went. Really,
Anywhere.
Really good.
We mostly ate our breakfast and dinner on the ship and tried to eat lunches wherever we were.
Our first
Two reasons. It's cheaper. Lunch. I mean, if you're going to buy a meal,
this
it's
is just
cheaper
really smart on your
lunch rather than buying a dinner out on the, the dinner's included on the cruise, so why not get back to the ship? You're sailing close to that time anyway. And getting out for lunch, we were able to try whatever was the specialization for the area. As she mentioned, in Malta, they suggested that rabbit was what it was, so rabbit is what it was.
Let me stop you. How was that? That sounds disgusting, but I'm sure it's not.
It really.
Sorry to all our listeners who
wasn't-
like rabbit.
It wasn't disgusting at all.
It kind of looked and unfortunately tasted, or fortunately tasted like chicken.
It's like
a
the
half
same
a
old
chicken.
line. What's
Like-
everything
Tastes like
taste like?
chicken.
Tastes like chicken
There
is what
was-
the answer is
there's
always.
a little thigh and a little leg.
No, don't get
Oh.
specific.
Oh.
No,
This
that's
is what
just,
I
When you
mean.
have a roasted chicken dinner,
Well, sure.
and it's cut in
Okay.
half, and you're served it on a plate, you see the outline. You see the little bone.
That's
okay.
true. That's
well,
a good
that's
point.
exactly what it looked like.
yeah. But of course, the good thing about having a rabbit for dinner is when you leave, you have a good luck charm. So
Oh, jeez.
it doesn't quite look like the good luck charm we had when we were growing up, the little furry leg,
That's
but
right.
it's still a leg. No, really, it's a rabbit leg.
It was fine.
Let's move on.
And in Capri, we had caprese salad, which was lovely.
And she had to get Capri sandals. which I still have never heard of. But she said, no, they're very famous. Have you heard of Capri sandals? I've never heard of it.
I
think it was just
I've heard of capri pants, but I've never heard of capri sandals.
Apparently you need these sandals to go with those pants.
And
love
to go
it.
with the cobblestone streets because they're all hilly and a lot of walking
They,
going on.
the
You don't
cool
wear
thing is
high
they
heels.
custom make the sandal for you while you're standing there.
So
Oh,
what
see,
do
now
they look
that's
like?
cool.
Oh, I've got
It is
pictures.
very cool.
I've got pictures here.
Here,
They're-
get close to your radio, folks. Here.
Sorry
You can
about
describe
that.
Is there a
Sandals.
rubber? Is there a rubber
They're
padding on the
flats.
on the bottom of them?
They're just flat, strappy sandals, and they now have jeweled options where you can pick
Crystal,
different colored
you
crystals
know, it's very
or
pretty,
gems
very nice.
or-
And they're comfortable.
yes, very comfortable. And yes, they are a little flexible, rubber strappy.
And nothing was expensive.
I was just going to ask.
Nothing
are
was
they
expensive
pricey?
until I got home with the American Express bill and saw the conversion from euros to dollars. I went, wait a minute! At the time, I couldn't figure it was
Here's my credit
fluctuated,
card.
it
Okay,
changed. I didn't know what it was,
Here's my
so
credit card.
everything was fine.
That's the best way to do
All right.
it.
So where else?
Wait,
did
so
you
we
go?
went from Rome.
Oh, those are sharp. We're back at the sandals. I love those.
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
I
the
I hope
good
you're enjoying this
souvenir,
at home on the
though.
radio or in the car. They're
But
beautiful
see-
little flat sandals with
it on your
little
website.
But
crystals. Yeah, you
Kim,
put it on the website.
That is a
Good
great advice, though, Kim, because I know people who travel quite a bit, and you know, you can buy souvenirs like snow globes and things, but when you buy something like sandals, or I have friends who buy scarves wherever they go, it's a great souvenir, and you can wear it. And
Useful,
talk about
and
it.
it's nice. Somebody says, those are beautiful.
Really
Yes,
sharp.
I picked them up in Malta.
Exactly.
So it's funny you say that, Mary, because we believed we were going to pick up a bell. Was it a bell?
Well, because
A bell everywhere we went, so that it would remind. We didn't get one bell. We said let's
We
start a
wanted to
tradition
start a
of getting a
collection of
bell
bells because
everywhere we go.
there were bells on
We
the hill.
yeah, because of the song from our wedding.
Oh, I see.
There were bells on the hill. Never did
Oh,
heard them.
nice.
Never heard them at all until there was you.
still
It-
don't
only,
have any bells.
only
in
it's
our
more
house.
romantic. It's more romantic than that when the clock isn't ticking. So we went from Rome. We went to parts of Malta, 2 parts of Malta, way underrated and should be seen, and still of value. We went to 2 different areas of Sicily, the island of Sicily.
Swordfish,
That was what they said to eat there,
with
swordfish,
capers.
which we don't eat swordfish a lot these days for a variety of reasons, but we did eat it there because that was their dish.
And they brought us complimentary lemon sponge cake. I don't know if you remember because that was after the wine that we also had.
I didn't remember anything after the wine at all.
Delicious.
And then we ended up in Valencia, Spain, and then Barcelona, which I thought the first person I asked about the town, I thought they had a lisp because they said Barcelona, and I said Barcelona. That's sad that that person has a lisp like that, but whatever. And then the next person had a lisp as well, and I went, wait a second, everybody's saying Barcelona.
They're doing Corinthian leather.
so it is.
I've never heard that
It's
until you talked
it's-
about this.
No,
It's
really?
Bartha-
Oh, they do.
Lona. They say
Absolutely.
Barcelona.
Mm-hmm. They
And,
absolutely do.
So people still look at me funny when I say it, but they do too when I say Budapest
That's
instead of
correct.
Budapest.
That's absolutely
And
correct.
as Barry Farber told us, we had on the morning show, there's a Buda side
Yes.
and a Pest
And
side.
a Pest side.
Who knew?
Right, and there's a bridge right between the two.
These are not things we used to discuss in Monroe, Michigan when I was growing up.
No.
Ever.
Wow.
Which destination was your favorite destination?
Mine was Capri because it was a place I'd always wanted to go to, and it surpassed my expectations as far as just beautiful sweeping vistas. But the most surprising destination for me was Malta. I had no idea
Yeah, Malta.
how beautiful and fun that was going to be.
It's still seemingly undiscovered.
Yes,
and there
I
are
would agree.
very few places like that, Mary, as you know,
Yep.
and you've traveled a fair amount too. Very few places like that left in the world. Well, I mean, left in the places that a lot of people travel.
Now, one of the things that we heard about Seabourn that's a big advantage is that because it's a smaller ship, it can get closer to shore. And how many of these different destinations that you're talking about, 11-day cruise, right?
Right.
Were you able to get?
First time ever, by the way,
Right
an
to the
11-day cruise. That was well worth it too. And again, if you check with your travel agent, you're going to get the best deal, and that's what you want to do: is you want to shop these things and get the best deals. Surprisingly, we had to use a tender at least twice, maybe 3 times, and I didn't think we'd have to at all, but we did.
They
couple of
explained
times.
to us based on weather conditions and how choppy the water was and how high or low the tide was, the ship may or may not be able to get in.
But being a smaller ship, it can go in a lot more places. And,
Which is a
and
nice
I love it
advantage.
when the ship is right at the dock
Oh,
and you
that's
just
the
step
best.
off
They
and it's.
actually call on ports that the larger ships don't go into at all.
Let's take a quick break here. Coming up next, I want to get some travel tips because both of you have traveled quite a bit. And, let's find out maybe even some travel trip tips for cruising. You're listening to AAA Travel News and Views. We will return after these messages.